Welcome, middle schoolers, to the very first episode of the Middle School Games Network. I am your host, Mr. Caverly, with an exciting day for you. You're probably thinking to yourself, Mr. Caverly, middle school games? What could that be? Well, I'm here to tell you. The middle school games have started as of yesterday. Yesterday, you say? Yes, yesterday the middle school games have started. And for right now, I'm going to hop in to a quick slideshow to give you some information that you're going to need to know to find out how can your team be number one. All right, middle schoolers, let's take a look at what are the middle school games because we need to find out who is number one. What are the middle school games? You are now in with your team. That is your homeroom. Sometime this week, you and your teacher are going to figure out what's going to be your team's name. But let's get down to the meat and potato. Who is the best? We need to know which class is the very best here at Harrison Park inside the middle school. And so how are we going to figure out who the best class is? We are going to look at two different components. We have our live learning attendance. That is attending all 5 of your classes, not just the ones you like. And then you're going to have your class average grade for each one of your 5 classes. How do points work? Well, each marking period will be broken into 4 quarters, and each quarter is worth points. And if you are in first place, your team is in first place for a quarter, your team will receive 6 points. If your team is in second place, you will receive 5 points. If your team is in third place, you will receive 4 points. Now you're probably saying, who cares, Caverly? What do I get if we win? Well, I'll tell you what you get. Each quarter winner will receive a prize in there from each one of their teachers. And if you are the full middle school games winner for marking period 2, you will receive an even bigger prize to be determined. But most important, the thing that I care about the most is the bragging rights. I know that I want class 8B, my homeroom class. We might try a few different names. Maybe we're going to be like Caverly's Royalty, Caverly's Court. How about we're number one? I don't know. That's not very creative. But anyway, I know that I want my class 8B to have bragging rights over every other middle school class. And I'm hoping that we're going to achieve that. As I'm sure you're hoping your class will achieve number one as well. Let's look at the schedule. So 4 quarters in marking period 2. Quarter 1 will be October 26th through November 8th. Quarter 2 will be November 9th through November 22nd. Quarter 3 will be November 23rd through December 6th. And quarter 4 will be December 7th through December 20th. Now, how can your class win? You need to show up for your live learning. You want to stay for all of your classes because your attendance will go down if you skip on some of your classes. A good idea would be to encourage your friends to come to class. If you know that friend's sleeping in on a Wednesday morning, maybe you send them an email, maybe you send them a text, maybe you give them a call and say, hey, we need you to come to class because we want to win the middle school games. Complete your asynchronous work. If work is assigned to you, complete it. Give it your best effort. And if you have a classmate who may be struggling with a piece, why don't you see if you can help them out? Work together as a team to achieve the highest class grade average that you can. The higher your class's grade average is, the better your rankings will be here in the middle school games. And what do we get if you win? Well, if you win a quarter, if your team is first place for 1 quarter, then each of your 5 teachers will give you a prize that they feel is appropriate. So I can tell you right now that whatever team, whatever cohort wins the first quarter, if they are one of my classes, that class will get a Friday off of asynchronous work. So think about that. By just doing what you're supposed to, by showing up to class and doing your work, you have the opportunity to get a day off. Each of your teachers will have some sort of reward for you if your team gets first place. Now you're probably thinking, but Mr. Caverly, what about second place? What about third place? As a philosopher once told me, if you ain't first, you're last. And we want to reward the first place classes while also saying that if you do not win quarter 1, you still have the opportunity to win quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. And then we will take a total combination of your points from the 4 quarters to determine who is our overall middle school games winner for marking period 2. I want to say, let the games begin and good luck. If you have any questions, your teachers should have the answers. If your teacher doesn't have the answer, you can email me, Mr. Caverly, at caverlys@students.grps.org, and I would be happy to answer any of the questions that you may have. I'm very excited about this, and I cannot wait to see which class ends up number 1. Good luck, everybody. Now that we have looking at what the middle school games exactly is, we have the privilege, we have the honor to speak with Mr. Welsh, coach, teacher of Cohort B. We're going to go to that interview right now. All right, welcome middle schoolers. Today, we have the privilege, we have the honor of having a Mr. Welsh, coach, teacher of Cohort 7B, and he has some words for the middle school in terms of the middle school games. Mr. Welsh, take it away.
Mr. Caverly! How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, sir. Thank you.
Let me tell you how it is. Cohort 7B is where you want to be. We have the brightest. We have the hardest working. We are the ones that are going to waste the rest of the 7th grade and the 8th grade. Not even going to mention those 6th graders.
Those are strong words, Mr. Welsh. Those are very strong words, especially talking about my own cohort 8B, but please continue.
Well, what you got to understand, Mr. Caverly, you ain't me. Your kids may be okay, but look at this.
That is a fine T-shirt, my friend. That is a nice jacket as well. How much, Mr. Welsh? Is it true that jacket cost you $75,000?
Let me tell you how it is. When you're the best, you only go for the best. $75,000? Ha! I wouldn't dress my dog in a suit like that.
How often does you
like this, Mr. Caverly?
No, sir. No, I do not.
No. Look at that. You couldn't even put your foot into something like that.
I do have bigger feet than you, so you're probably right on that, sir. Yes.
That's probably true.
Well,
let me tell you how it is, Mr. Caverly. My students are the best. They're the hardest working. They're the smartest. And they're going to put everyone else to shame.
So Mr. Welsh, just let me make sure I'm hearing you clearly. Are you declaring that the 7B cohort will not only win marking period or quarter 1, they're going to win this whole thing? They're going to win the middle school games?
Mr. Caverly?
Yes, sir.
Just let me say, game over!
Wow.
Game over! It's over before it starts.
Wow. Wow. Well.
You look at my roster. There's not a weak spot among them. They're going to bring it. They're going to bring it every day to class. They're going to show up every day in every class and show you that they are the best.
Wow. Well, Mr. Welsh, I just really appreciate you coming in here today. It's obvious that you're very confident in your cohort. I hope that they perform as well as you are expecting, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come on to the Middle School Game Network today.
Well, I just got to show you in the back. This is rocket science. This ain't for the faint of heart. Middle school games, bring it. Bring it.
Thank you again, Mr. Welsh. We'll talk to you again soon. Well, it's quite obvious from that interview. Mr. Welsh is very confident in his cohort 7B. I can tell you I'm even more confident in my cohort 8B, and I can't wait to see what all the other cohorts are going to do in this first quarter. Remember, show up to class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tell your friends to show up to class. When we're done with class, let's get that asynchronous work done, because remember, we are a challenge scholar school, and we need to meet those expectations every single day. This is Mr. Caverly from the Middle School Games Network, signing out.